Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Yesterday, I started chapter 4. This is your chapter 4, Natural Resources and Their Utilization. And we studied about natural resources, all the things available on the earth, and living creatures. They are dependent on those things, and these things are known as natural resources provided to us by nature, like coal, water, air, land, forest, minerals. These are natural resources. There are two types, inexhaustible and exhaustible. Inexhaustible, present in abundance in lot amount and will never get exhausted, like air or energy from the sun. Exhaustible, limited in amount, and they may be exhausted if used continuously. And these exhaustible, they are renewable and non-renewable resources. It's there in the picture. Natural resource, inexhaustible and exhaustible. Then exhaustible categorized into two. Renewable, that is soil, forest, groundwater, which can be renewed. And non-renewable coal, petroleum, it's difficult to renew them. They take a lot of time to get renewed. That's why they come under non-renewable resources. In that, we studied air and atmosphere. Earth is surrounded by a blanket of air that is known as atmosphere, and it is a mixture of different gases. Nitrogen is 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide 0.03%, and other gases and water vapors 0.93%. Then use of air or significance of air. Oxygen we need for breathing. Carbon dioxide required by plants in the process of photosynthesis through which they produce food. And on that food, other living creatures are dependent on plants. The nitrogen needed for the growth of the plants and for the growth of the other animals also. Ozone layer, which protects us from harmful radiations of the sun. With that, other uses are given there for the dispersal of seed, for pollination, for the movement of birds and insects from one place to another, for the sound waves also, air is needed. Then water is here, and here we studied about water sources like rain, snow, lakes, rivers, ocean, seas, groundwater, and then the water cycle here. The water from the water bodies get evaporated in the form of water vapor that is known as evaporation. They go into the atmosphere, changes to clouds, that is known as condensation. That process is known as condensation. Then those clouds or the water presence or the water vapor presence in these clouds comes down in the form of rain or snow. This process is known as precipitation. And from there, that water gets mixed into the water bodies back. So this is a water cycle. Now, importance of water. Our body consists of 70% of water. Or body require lot amount of water. Plants, they also require water. Animals, they also require water. Plants, they require water for, again, the same thing, photosynthesis, through which they produce food. For other purposes, water is used in household work, transportation, irrigation, and for the production of electricity. Then we studied soil. It's an important medium for the growth of plants. And these plants, they take nutrition from the soil and they produce food. And that food is available for the animals and human beings. So we are dependent on plants for food, and they produce food with the help of water, air, sunlight, and soil. Then we have layers of soil, topsoil, then subsoil, weathered rock, and bedrock. And the topmost layer, topsoil, is the most fertile soil. It contains all the necessary nutrients which is important for the growth of plants and for production of the food. And it's the habitat of number of animals also, or microorganisms also. Then we studied significance of soil. Uppermost layer, it's needed for the growth of plants. It provides nutrition. Then food produced by the plants, that food is eaten by herbivores, and herbivores are eaten by carnivores. So these animals, they are directly or indirectly dependent on plants for their food. Then soil, this is a home for a number of animals, microorganisms, or earthworms. Okay, now we have to start from minerals. The land source also gives us some mineral elements like calcium, iron, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur, carbon, etc. Some of these minerals are essential for the formation and functioning of body of living organisms, including men. So these minerals are provided by earth. These are calcium, iron, potassium, nitrogen, all these minerals. These are used by plants, used by animals, used by human beings, either for the formation or functioning of the body. These minerals are absorbed by plants with the help of their roots. These minerals available there in the soil, that is taken by the plants as nutrition, and they take these nutrition or these minerals with the help of their roots. And then because of these nutrition or this nutrition or from these minerals, they produce food. Now we have significance of minerals, importance of minerals. A number of minerals are required by plants and animals. For example, now why do we require these minerals? Now uses of these minerals are written here. So first is calcium. Calcium is required for bones and teeth. So this is very much needed for strong bones and strong teeth. Second is iron. Iron is needed for the formation of blood. For our blood, we need iron. So this mineral is very much important for the formation of blood. Mercury, gold, and silver are useful for various purposes. These minerals are also required for different purposes. For ornaments, for health purpose also, we use them in the medicines. Coal and petroleum are a source of energy. We get energy from coal and petroleum. Our vehicles run on petroleum. Phosphorus is an essential component of fertilizer. For making fertilizers, we need phosphorus. Then we have sunlight. Sun is the ultimate source of energy for life. This is the main source of energy on this earth. Solar energy is used by plants to make food by the process of photosynthesis. In every resource, we have read about this thing, photosynthesis. That plant, they make food with the help of this process, photosynthesis. And for this photosynthesis, they require air, water, nitrogen from the soil, then sun rays. So this is the figure here, plant taking energy from the sun, water from the soil, and other nutrition also like nitrogen from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air. And their photosynthesis takes place, and one more element which is very much needed, that is green pigment, chlorophyll, in this process of photosynthesis. And as a result, plants are able to make food that is eaten by the other living creatures. Now this energy of the sun passes from plants to the herbivores, and herbivores are eaten by carnivores. So carnivores also, they get energy of that sun through herbivores. They get directly also and through herbivores also. Next point, with the help of specially designed appliances such as solar cooker, solar heater, solar cells, etc. Solar energy can be used for heating water, cooking food, and for street light. This is alternate source of energy. Nowadays, we have solar cooker, solar heater, solar cells also, and with the help of these solar appliances, we can make food, can use them for heating water and for street lights also. And the electricity at home also, we can use these solar appliances. Next comes forest. Forests are an important renewable natural resource. Renewable, which can be renewed easily. That is renewable. And this resource, that is forest, that is a renewable natural resource. They form an important part of our environment and economy. These are the main part of the environment and economy, of course. They provide us with the variety of goods and services. We get different raw materials from these forests, and then we make different products using those raw materials, and we earn money. That is economy. They also maintain a balance in nature. For maintaining eco-balance, forests are very much needed. Now, how forests are useful for us? Now, these are number of ways given here. First point, chief product of forest is wood, which is used as a fuel and as raw material for various industries as paper, newsprint, board, furniture, housing, etc. The main product of the forest is wood, and wood we use for different purposes. Main purpose is we use it as a fuel. Other is we use it as a raw material, and from that wood or that raw material we make paper or furniture, we use it in the housing or different purposes, we use that wood. It is a natural habitat for many animals. Habitat is house, house for many other animals or wild animals we call them, and plants, thus protecting wildlife. Animals are living in the forest, plants and trees, different kinds of plants, they are living in that forest. So it's inhabited for the plants as well as for the animals. A number of products are obtained from forest animals such as honey, meat, silk, ivory, hide, skin, etc. These are different products which we get from these forest animal or wild animals. Fourth point, forests are also responsible for cleaning our environment by maintaining balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Plants, they give out oxygen that is needed by other animals or human beings. And human beings and animals, they give out carbon dioxide, which is absorbed by these plants. So this way, these forests, where there are a number of trees and plants, they maintain a balance of what? Of oxygen and carbon dioxide. That is ecological balance. Fifth point, they regulate rainfall and maintain water cycle by continuous transpiration. Transpiration is losing of water by the plants to the leaves, that is known as transpiration, and that water changes to water vapor and goes into the atmosphere, condensed there in the form of clouds, and then precipitation takes place and it comes down in the form of rain or snow. So helps in maintaining water cycle, which helps in cloud formation. We must have noticed where you have number of plants and trees or green area, there you will find more and more rainfall. Opposite to that, desert areas where there are no plants, no trees, or very few trees there, you'll find very less rainfall. So in one way, you can say that they attract rainfall or they regulate rainfall. Sixth point, they prevent soil erosion and floods. The roots of plants bind the soil. Soil erosion is eroding of the soil or moving of that top layer of soil from that place to other place, the movement of the wind or with the movement of the water. So the roots of the plants or the trees, what they do, they prevent soil erosion. How? The roots of the plants, they bind the soil, they hold the soil very tightly and they don't allow that top layer soil, that fertile soil to move with the water or to move with the wind. So that land area remains fertile. Seventh point, a number of food chains and food webs are also supported by forest. So food chain that you have studied in the previous chapter, what is a food chain? One living organism is dependent on the other living organism for the food. That process is food chain. That chain from plants to the other animals and to the other animal or to the other animal, that is known as food chain, and many food chain together linked together, that is known as food web. So forests, they help or they support in this chain. Okay, that was the importance of forests. So this chapter is complete here. Now after that, you have question answers. I hope you have understood this chapter about natural resources. Now, question answers. First, we have take the correct answer. Which of these sources of energy is inexhaustible? Your answer is sunlight. Second, which gas constitutes 0.03% of the atmosphere? And 0.03 is carbon dioxide. Next, which component of atmosphere protects us from the harmful radiation of the sun? Your answer is ozone layer. D, which type of soil is important because it contains important nutrients, and that is topsoil. E, which mineral is needed for the formation of blood? And for the blood is iron. Your answer is iron. Now, second question. What is water cycle? Draw and explain. It's on page number 17. You have this diagram of water cycle just on the top. And first column, that very last paragraph. You have definition of water cycle given. From the second line, you have to mark water evaporates from the water bodies like rivers, sea, etc. or from transpiration by plants. Upon reaching the atmosphere, it forms clouds by condensation, and thereafter by precipitation, it comes back to earth in the form of rain or snow and reaches the water bodies. This whole process is termed water cycle. So this is a description of water cycle and the diagram there. This is your second answer. Now third, how is soil formed? What are the 4 layers of soil? Okay, come to that soil part, page number 18. The very first paragraph under the heading soil and fourth line there. Soil is formed by the breaking of rocks due to the action of sun, water, ice, winds, and plants. Soil consists of 4 layers. After 4 layers, you have to write the layers which are given in the picture. Topsoil, subsoil, weathered rock, bedrock. You write these names and then continue. Out of these 4 layers, the topmost layer is the most important as it contains all the nutrients essential for the growth of plants. You're marking something extra there. So that was answer 3, both A and B part. Question number 4. Name 4 minerals present in soil, stating their significance. Now, page number 19, significance of minerals. 5 are given there. You have to write any 4. You can choose any 4. Calcium is required for bones and teeth. Iron is needed for the formation of blood. Mercury, gold, and silver are useful for various purposes. Coal and petroleum are a source of energy. Before these 4 points, you have to write a line from the question. 4 minerals present in soil are. Now, question number 5. Which component of air protects us from harmful radiation? It's here on page number 16. Your significance of air in that last point. Ozone layer protects us from harmful radiations of the sun. This is your answer 5. Now, question 6. Which is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere? You have to mark in the question. The most abundant gas in the atmosphere is nitrogen, that is 78%. After that, you have to write from the significance of air on page number 16. And there, just above the ozone layer, that is your third point. Nitrogen is needed for growth as it forms an essential part of protein. That is also, I'm adding extra there related to this answer. 7th, what is a natural resource? How are natural resources classified? Give examples. So natural resource, it's in the starting of the chapter. Page number 15, second paragraph there. A resource is a reservoir of material that is needed to sustain life. Living organisms depend on Earth for all their requirements. Our Mother Earth is a bank of substances like minerals, oil, coal, water, air, land, forests, etc. These substances are collectively termed as natural resources. We can classify or group these resources under two categories depending on their availability. First one, inexhaustible resources. These are present in abundance and can never get exhausted. Example, air, energy, and sun. Energy from sun. Second, exhaustible resources. These are those resources which may be exhausted if used continuously. These can be renewable or non-renewable resources. Example, you can write coal, petroleum, forests, etc. Next one, write a short note on importance of forest. It's on page number 20. Importance of forest given there, 7 points are there. You can cut them short, these points. Forests are useful for us in a number of ways. Chief product of forest is wood, which is used as a fuel and as raw material. Second, it is a natural habitat for many animals and plants, thus protecting wildlife. A number of products are obtained from forest animals, such as honey, meat, etc. You can cut short these points. Fourth, forests are also responsible for cleaning our environment by maintaining balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Fifth, they regulate rainfall and maintain water cycle. Sixth, they prevent soil erosion and floods. Seventh, a number of food chains and food webs are also supported by forests. So that was answer 8. Ninth, name some appliances that make use of solar energy. It's on page number 19. Second column, second paragraph there. With the help of specially designed appliances such as solar cooker, solar heater, solar cells, etc., solar energy can be used for heating water, cooking food, and for street lights. This is your answer, 9th. Now 10th, list the various uses of air. Page number 16, significance of air. The various components of air are very important as they help us in many ways. First point, oxygen present in air is required for breathing. Carbon dioxide is required for photosynthesis, a process by which plants make food. Nitrogen is needed for growth as it forms an essential part of protein. Ozone layer protects us from harmful radiations of the sun. Besides this, air is very important as it helps in dispersal of seeds and pollen grains when it moves. Some animals such as birds, insects, etc. fly in air. So it is a medium of locomotion for them. Sound waves cannot travel without air as a medium. This last paragraph you can write in points also. It's not compulsory that you have to write this as paragraph only. You can write as points also. So that was your chapter 4 completed with question answers. So that's all for today. See you next time. Take care.